You shouldn't only chase huge artists. There's an element to chasing big people, and there's an element to working with the people around you, because eventually if you work with the people around you and you define a sound, the big people are going to come to you.
The One More Time Music Podcast. Genuine conversations with genuine people about music. Hosted by Henry with a 3 and Playback Ben.
We're from Beamer Coops to Pencils. Don't want this to end, so part that one more time. Part that one more time. Part that shit like one more time. They part that one more time.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for another episode of the One More Time Podcast. It's Thursday. I'm your host, Playback Ben, here with my co-host,
Henry with a 3, a.k.a. the Trap Jack Black.
Henry.
I'm fucking dead. And I'm Bijan Amir. What's up?
Whoa.
I
Henry.
introduced myself.
Who do we have on the podcast today?
How can I do the roast now? He already introduced
You're
himself.
supposed to roast me?
That's fine. Continue, Henry.
It doesn't feel the same.
Roast me. Go ahead.
Well, who does he fucking look like?
Don't do it.
Welcoming in on the...
Don't give this guy ammunition. Christ, say it.
Damn, you introduced yourself so fast. That was like clutch. You took the power out of my hands.
I think he knew what he was getting into.
Yeah, well, I'll try it anyway, I guess. Welcoming in on the 42nd episode of the One More Time Podcast. You know him for his legendary characters, Ali G, Bruno, and Borat. It's Sacha Baron Cohen.
I have never gotten Sacha Baron Cohen in my life.
Who have you gotten?
Because we
spent hours. Yeah. We spent hours.
Is that something that you do usually?
We do.
Every
okay,
episode.
See, there you go.
Yeah.
He's not familiar with
I'm
the
not
platform,
familiar.
guys.
Yeah.
I saw the Dre episode, Suave episode.
Yeah. Who did we roast him as? He was
Drew Holiday. Drew Holiday, yeah.
I'm dead.
That was a good one. He did not like that.
Sacha Baron Cohen. No, he liked that.
He's not a fan.
Sacha Baron Cohen. I've never gotten that. I get that
Harry
guy.
Potter? The glasses? I don't know.
I've gotten the guy on Twitter. I don't know if he was a Vine guy, but I know he's on Twitter. He's like, "Let me suck your titties, girl." And like people used to say I look like that guy so much. But I've not gotten anything since. Look, here we go.
Majid from Majid Jordan.
I've never gone, but I can see where you're.
Because Canadian as well.
Exactly,
Yeah.
Canadian. We went to the same university.
Oh, wow.
I think damn near the same program too, which is quite funny. But
How about the Twitter guy? Did you guys cross paths at any time?
not
Suck
yet.
the same
I don't think
titties?
so. I don't think so. I mean, we have a common interest, but I don't think. No, I've never crossed paths. But no, I and I'm going to start off strong. But since losing weight, I've not gotten any comparisons yet. So I guess Sacha Baron Cohen's the first one. That's not a bad one to start with.
Not bad.
I love Sacha Baron Cohen.
So
He's a genius.
I was going to say, in all seriousness, folks, we have legendary super producer Bijan Amir. And I was going to say we were fucking global because he was going to come all the way from Canada, but he just
You can
came
say
from
that.
But no, you just came from LA.
I did.
It's not as cool.
But in oh Jesus, in general, I've come from Canada.
It's true.
I'm from
born
Canada.
and raised.
Born and raised.
Canadian.
Yeah.
So how's the LA life? How you liking it?
That is a big question. That's a big one to start with.
Is it everything it's cracked up to be?
Okay, so what, like in what regard? From a work perspective?
Just, do you feel comfortable there? Are you kind of
No.
finding your groove? No?
Yeah,
Okay,
I found my
still?
groove. Okay, so comfortability wise, no, but it's like that's a good and a bad thing. Like I feel challenged there,
Okay.
which is good.
That's good.
In Toronto, I felt quite complacent, and
From like a personal perspective or professional?
both.
Okay.
And it's just because, unfortunately, Canadian music and the Canadian music industry, how do you put this without offending people? Doesn't really have the infrastructure yet. Mm-hmm. So there's a bit of a glass ceiling in Toronto, and then Canada as a whole. So Toronto, I'd say, has what I'd say most would assume is Canada's biggest music scene.
Yeah, as far as I would know, that's what I would assume.
Like a la Drake and The Weeknd and like various others.
Right.
So like if you've made it in Toronto, like in terms of Canada, you'll be on Canadian radio, you'll be on do Canadian shows and Canadian events, et cetera. But there's really not much more to go. Like you can be big in Canada, but never cross over to the States. Which people do, and it's fine. You can make a good living and stuff. But I think as a producer, especially if you want it to be like a career and you want to work with like the bigs and the great talented people, like you could work with talented people in Toronto, don't get me wrong, but like to really branch out and expand your reach, you kind of have to move and go.
Yep.
And go to LA or Atlanta here or
at least be bi kind of.
Yes, exactly,
country,
bi-coastal.
Bi-coastal, yeah.
Yeah, which I guess I am now. So But there's also a sense of comfortability being there because like I know this place and I know all the ins and outs and I know the people here and I know the artists and I've done it. I've worked with them, and now I'm just like living. I'm just like existing here. But so to move to LA, I'm not comfortable. So it's like a new place for me. I've never lived outside of Canada before. I've never really lived outside of my suburb before, Mississauga. So it's a huge move. It's a lot of things are different, obviously. And in terms of music, it's like, you get to LA, it's like, everyone's doing music.
Right.
Like everyone is doing it. And everyone is really, really talented. Because like when you're talented and you're successful, you go to LA.
Right.
So it's not comfortable in the sense where it's like, okay, I can chill. Like, I don't have to work every day. It's like I could take some days off, which I did in Toronto because it's like, the stakes aren't as high. Mm-hmm. But it's like now I'm here, I'm being outworked every single day by, hundreds of people. Like it's expensive to live here, mind you. Like, you're making Canadian dollars, you bring them to the United States, it's worth less. So it's like, now it's like things are different. It's just you're surrounded by greatness so much that I just can't feel comfortable because I'm like, I just got to keep improving and stepping up my game. And, like coming here to Atlanta is almost like a break for me because but it's not in a break. It's like I'm still working here. I'm still like seeing people, but to be kind of with people that I'm comfortable with, like, Greer over there and, Suave and, Christo, Jid, Benji. I think you guys just had Benji on recently, to see those guys, like people like, okay, I've had a relationship. It's not as hustle and bustle out here. Like Greer always makes fun of me. He's like, you're so LA. Like you're always checking your phone. Like you're always like on to the next thing. It's like, damn, you're right. Like, I've become like, I can't just settle down, and to come here to kind of like settle down, and like a lot of people here are very relaxed and like, it's very like, you do music and like, it doesn't feel like it's like, oh God, we have to make a hit, or else it's like, oh, it's such a wasted day, which I feel like so many sessions are in LA where it's people are just like, oh, I have to make a hit. Like I have to do this. Like,
yeah, there's also probably a lot of people that moved to LA specifically to do that.
Yes.
To make it in music, to make it in film, whatever. So they have this like angst about them where it's like people are from Atlanta, we're from here.
Yes.
We're just living life and they happen to make music. Yeah. You happen to make music, I happen to be in music, right?
Yeah.
There's not that like, oh shit, I packed up my fucking dollars and cents to
make it
this
in
dream.
LA.
Yeah.
And you're exactly right. And that's why here it's like a break in the sense where it's like I could just kick back and like Greer and I can work on beats for like 5 hours and if nothing comes out of it, that's great. And if something comes out of it, fantastic. That's even better. But and then Suave and I will go to the studio and will we get a song? Maybe. Doesn't matter. Like, we'll have a good time doing it. Like, there's no pressure to be like, oh God, like, the label's calling, we need this, or like, I'm on my last dollar, I got to make this hit. Like, like you're saying. So, it's like, that's kind of a break to me, which is nice. So being there, like, I'm more comfortable here, funnily enough, than I am in LA, just from like a perspective. But at the same time, I said it's a double-edged sword because there's so much to do there in LA. There's so much opportunity. Everyone's always working that there's never a shortage of like things to do. So
would you say that you're trying to get comfortable with the hectic and the crazy, or are you trying to like maybe have time to balance out and not have that all the time?
I think right now at my current stage of where I am, I'm like in it. Like I don't want to balance out right now. Like I want to be uncomfortable. I want to push myself. I want to be better. I want to, do more and more every day.
Yeah.
Which I've been doing, which I'm grateful for myself for doing. But I think eventually I will want to balance out. Like maybe like a year from now. But again, you never know. Like maybe a year from now I'll be like, no, I got to go harder. Like I'd like to, I think, but I just know that now is not the right time to balance it out. Like now is the time to push.
I think that's been a theme on the podcast for sure, is trying to get comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Yes.
And never, complacency can definitely be a killer.
Yeah. Complacency is killer.
So you kind of alluded to it. You lost a lot of weight. You lost how many pounds in just a year's time?
A year's time, I'm down, I'd say like roughly about 120 pounds.
Sheesh.
Fucking amazing, man.
Thank you.
Like, kudos to you.
Thank you.
We were watching the Spice interview that you did.
A very different me.
And to be, I mean, you're crushing it, man.
Thank you.
Like, what inspired you to do that?
A lot of factors. I think, well, I halfway did it in the past in 2017, I want to say, or 2018. No, it was 2018. I've halfway done it in 2018. But then again, I got complacent and I said, oh, look, I lost 40 pounds. Like I lost 45 pounds. I can start enjoying the things I used to be enjoying. And I never really like learned anything. And so I got back right up to where I was. And, I probably even surpassed it, especially like during COVID and stuff where I was just in the house and like, feeling super upset about everything. And just
that's
like
almost
stuck.
the most impressive part is that you're doing this during COVID when people are encouraged to just stay in their house and be a lazy piece of shit, essentially.
In all fairness, that's what I was. Like during the first year.
We're 2 years deep.
We're 2
bro.
years deep now.
That's true.
Which is crazy.
That's wild.
In 2020, that was his.
That was
life,
was my, like, because mind you, I was living in Toronto and it was the first year when things had really just started. And I was thankful because actually during that year I had traveled quite a bit and I had seen some people and I furthered relationships between like January and March. And then like, as soon as I got back from Atlanta, I got back on the 10th of March and then on the 14th, everywhere in the world was like, you know what, this is fucking serious. Like we're shutting down.
So were you down here for the Spillage Village sessions?
I was, yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of why I was here.
Yeah. Because we talked to Benji about it and then like the world shut down.
Right.
Yeah.
But he was like locked in this.
You were locked in Tree Sound, right?
I was, so I was there. Well, Tree Sound.
No, they had the house.
Yeah.
It was like just this house with like 3 studios in it.
Yeah,
Right.
Tree Sound was 2019.
Yeah.
And then 2020, I went to Europe to work because I frequently go to Europe to work, which is amazing. And then I was in LA, and then I was talking to Jid, and he was like, "Yeah, come out," and Christo, and they're like, "Yeah, come out, we're here." So I was like, "Okay." I was supposed to go back home, and then I just ended up flying here, and then from home or to Toronto from here. But I just remember getting back on the 10th and getting in, and I remember a woman on my flight was like Lysol wiping the seats, and she was like, you just got to be careful, like this thing's going around. I'm like, sure, like whatever. Like,
okay.
She's like, do you want to wipe? I was like, no, I'm good. Like I just washed my hands like before I got on the plane. Like I'm cool. And she was, and then literally 4 days later, after I got in, landed like right to a restaurant to see my family. I hadn't seen them in some weeks, and like it was totally normal. And they're like, yeah, you guys should probably just like never go outside ever again. And I was like, okay.
This is like flashing me back, man.
Yeah. It was crazy. It was crazy.
I haven't talked about those first days of like.
Yeah, it was very confusing.
When we were hearing about it, but it was kind of like.
It wasn't serious.
Okay,
like it clicks differently for everyone.
Yeah. I remember being like, like I'm still going to travel. Like, if like, somebody calls me and they're like, we need you in LA for sessions. I'm like, yeah, I'm still going to go. Like, I don't care.
Yeah.
But I just remember getting worse and worse and worse. And then it was like fucking lockdown.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And this was also at a time where Canada was coming out of the winter time. And a lot of the time, like during winter in Canada, at least in Toronto rather, it's very gray. It's dark and it gets dark early at night and gets in the morning. It's like I'm not awake at like 7 for the sun to come up anyway. So by the time I wake up and by the time the sun goes down, it's like 6-7 hours of like sunlight. And so like to be locked in the house, to like have this idea where you can't see anybody, you can't go outside. It was a very hard time, especially like trying to create music. So, it was a combination of like, I can't do anything. I'm not inspired at all. I'm looking at the same fucking 4 walls every day, like trying to make new shit. It's like, it was and then I was like now feeling bad because I was not making enough music and feeling bad for not making good music. And so it was like a very, very tough time. So I was like really just like eating my life away and it got really bad. And then, moving to LA last year, 2021, at the end of the year, of 2020, I was like, okay, you know what? Like, I'm going to change my life when I go to LA. Like, I'm tired of this shit. Like, COVID is also, it affects like larger people differently. Like, and I was worried about that. So that was part of the reason too, where I was like, fuck, like I'm mad overweight. Like if this shit gets me, like it could be a wrap. Like, what I'm saying? Damn. Like, which is, it's a fucking motivating factor. It's like, like you never know if I get this shit, like I could kick the fucking bucket.
Yeah.
And so that was part of the reason. And I'm like, what's a better place to do it than LA? It's like,
everyone's so like fitness and health
like,
oriented.
Yeah, like everyone's going on a run every day, hiking this, that. They'll go for a run and do like a 50-minute work.
Shots.
Quinoa.
Exactly. Like IV, like acai into their bloodstream. Like I'm like, great, fantastic.
5 kinds of kale.
Which is funny because I'm actually that guy now, which is like so rich.
Oh man.
I'm like, fuck, I can't believe I'm that guy now. Like I go for runs and I like have like fucking kale and acai bowls and shit, which is like,
yeah, but how do you feel?
I feel incredible, which is
you have to
the most
feel
important
great.
thing. Yeah, which is great. But yeah, that was like the thing. And I was like, I'm going to go and change my life. And like, no one thinks I can do this shit. Like, and that's also a nice motivating factor when it's like, I'm against all the odds. Like I'm the underdog. Like, can I do this? But like, I just remember before I went, because obviously in Canada, free healthcare, you get a lot of perks with that.
Right.
So I was like, I'm going to go get a doctor's checkup and like do a blood test and like everything. And like, I'm going to just make sure I'm good before I go to LA, get all my shit fixed up and like whatever, if I need anything. And I just remember getting my blood test. and thinking to myself, I'm like, damn, like it's a real possibility that shit might come back and say like I have diabetes or like pre-diabetes. Like I hadn't had a blood test in years.
Yeah.
And I was like, there's a very real chance that I'm going to, this is going to come back. And they're like, yeah, dude, you're like pre-diabetic or you have diabetes. Because it's not like I've my whole life I've been overweight. Like it's not like it was like a recent thing. Like my whole life.
Yeah. I mean, you played offensive line.
Yeah,
right? Like, you were like a big
boy.
Yeah.
Like for all my life.
Yeah.
And you can go back to like my preschool days where I was 3 years old and you go through the logs, like we have a laugh about it now, but like, you go through the logs and it's like, oh yeah, Bijan had like, 3 servings of applesauce today and like 2 of this and like 3 of that and blah, blah, blah. Like, dude, like back then. So it's my whole life has been like that. So that was another motivating thing where it's like, I've never seen myself in like a fit kind of body or like a fit kind of, my muscle. I've never been like strong. I've never been like had good endurance. I've never done that. So I was like, you know what? Fuck all that. Like this is the year I'm doing it all. I'm changing it. I'm going to see what it looks like to have muscles for the first time. And I just got to LA and I just was like, all right, here we go. And I started working out. I started eating better. And like throughout the year, it was like a lot of small steps that culminated into like one whole new lifestyle.
For sure.
But there's definitely moments where I remember like things just clicking in my head and was like, okay, now I'm just like, I'm never ordering out again until I get to my goal. I'm only cooking it for myself, which I did. And I'm doing the gym 6 times a week and I'm running on Sundays because the gym's closed on Sunday. And and like I'm, it was like everything. And it just changed completely. And I got a scale and it's like started tracking stuff, which is super helpful. And then like, in conjunction with that, it's like watching yourself get stronger and seeing the results change on the scale and, feeling yourself, I can run for longer. I can run faster for longer, like all these kind of things are very motivating. So it was all that kind of just led to me just being like, all right, this is my lifestyle now. And I'm here now, I guess, I'm
super inspiring, man. It's actually how we actually connected at first.
Yes,
we weren't even talking podcasts or nothing like that. I just remember him posting some like before and after and being like, wow, like that is unbelievable, man.
Thank you. Yeah.
I mean, so what'd you learn about yourself during that time? You know what I mean?
I learned that if okay, how do you say this? You can do anything you want. Like if you put your mind to something, like you want to lose weight, you want to do that, like you want to be great at music, you can do it. But you have to really, really want that shit for yourself. Like you can't be lying to yourself about wanting it. You gotta know in your heart of hearts that like this is what I need to do and what I want to do. Like there's no other option, or else it's not gonna happen. Like the first time I lost weight, when I lost 45 or 50 pounds, I was doing it because somebody told, like my dad, like not like my parents were like, fuck you, like you're fat, like you're a piece of shit. But like my dad,
but there was like external.
Yes, my dad was like, why don't you try this? Or like, why don't you do that? Because obviously they want the best for you.
It wasn't your idea.
No, it wasn't my
internal.
Idea. Yes, sure. It's got to be in your head where it's like, okay, like I'm just doing this shit. Like this is what it is. And like when you are on a fucking war path to do something and you put in the hours to do it, I think, at least for me, like I'm like now, like I know I can do it. Like if I really wanted to like get good at music theory and like learn the piano, if I fucking sat down and I did it, I could do it.
Yeah.
And
that's got to feel like so empowering.
It is. It's very liberating.
Because a lot of people, I feel like, think they have these barriers to succeeding in something.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Whether it's weight loss, whether it's music, whether it's their career, whatever career that might be.
Yes.
People have these like self-limiting thoughts a lot.
Like I can't do, like it's a lot of self-conscious. And okay, also disclaimer, like mind you, like this is also in a place of like privilege where I can say like I was able to do this because I have made like I can live off of the money I've made from music. I don't have to work another job. I don't have to, like, so I've had time to like go for runs in the morning. Like I have a loose schedule, and like the whole reason I can do music is because I come from a place of privilege where, like I just had this conversation with Greer where I didn't have to, work 3 jobs to support my family. And like, if I failed, my family would support me. Whereas like a lot of people, if they fail, their family's looking to them.
Yeah.
So for me to be able to do that comes with privilege too. So I can't say like, you can do anything you put your mind to, just like pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Like, no, like right. That's a very lame thing to say. But in terms of like what I learned about me, this is for my situation. Yeah. And you're also right though. There is a ton of like people put up mental barriers, which is one thing I learned was like, I used to like be like, no, I can't do that. Or like, that's not really something I could do. But like doing this.
Yeah. Like I'm just a big bone guy. Like,
Right.
you know,
It's like,
whatever
yeah, it's like-
thoughts you want to like
Exactly.
make yourself feel.
There's a lot of excuses.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people like to make a lot of excuses for themselves. And I used to do the same thing. It's like, I could do this because like whatever, like, oh, I'm just like this, or like,
Yeah.
I'm good at this. So I don't have to be good at that. It's like no, like, why aren't I just striving to be like the best version of me? Like, why am I giving myself these like excuses? Like, I just want to go hard every single day. Like, that's all it is. And like doing this has shown me, it's like, oh yeah, like, I want to make that kind of music. Like, let me try it. Why not? Like, let me work hard and do it. Like, yeah, I guess for myself, it was very liberating to be like, wow, like I can do that. What else can I do? Like,
Yeah.
what more can I do now? And it's a very good feeling.
And what more is you're about to run a fucking half marathon in July? Epic.
Thank you. Yeah,
So
it's gonna
good
be
luck with that, yeah.
my first time doing something like that. So
That sounds horrible. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I love some good exercise, but like that's fucking psychopathic.
I thought so too, and I have genuinely fallen in love with
I hate running. I hate running, bro.
I can't believe I'm saying that, but it's like it's true. Like,
so boring.
to me. It is. No, it is. But like,
If I didn't have podcasts and music, I
Yeah.
literally could never run.
No,
like,
I can't
before
do
the
without
days of
music.
like mobile earphones. I
Yeah.
don't know how the fuck people ran.
no,
like,
I cannot do that.
just
shit without
looking at the
music.
world while they're running.
No.
Do you do a treadmill or you go outside? and
outside.
run around?
I like
Yeah.
to do outside.
trails and stuff like that.
Yeah, there's I used to run around my neighborhood in last May when I first started running because my friends, there's a really fantastic app actually, which a lot of people are like, I hate running. I'm like, yeah, I used to think the same. Here I go peddling this app. But
Cut the check.
yeah, Nike, please.
Yeah, the Nike running app.
Yes, Nike Run Club.
Yeah.
It's totally free. At least it was when I think it still is.
Yeah.
Totally free, and they have like maybe not hundreds, but a lot of guided, coached runs where you just put your fucking headphones in, you turn the music on.
Come on, Bijan.
Yeah, literally.
You can do it.
Yeah, and it's like the coaches are like, "What's up? Like, you got this. Like, I'm sure you're starting off a little hot. Why don't you slow down? Like, it's not a big deal. Slow down." Like, and I was like, "Damn, I am going too fast." I was running. I was like, "Oh shit, he's right." Like,
Yeah,
and I
pace
slowed down.
myself.
Yeah, and you know what? And you add friends on there, and my friends were like, "Dude, we
Yeah.
run all the time. Like this app, and we keep track, and we have a leaderboard, which is like I hate
So LA.
yeah, it is.
So
It
LA
really
now.
is. But I can't do competitive exercise. I hate competitive exercise. I do exercise for me.
Yes.
I don't do it to compete with other people. I hate that feeling because then I feel there's pressure, and I don't like when there's like pressure to perform an exercise. Like other things, it's fine, but like with exercise, I've always been self-conscious of that. Always because
Yeah.
I've been fat, and just because I'm like, God, I'm gonna be the worst one, and I'm gonna be the slowest, and I'm gonna be the fucking whatever, this, that, and the next. So I hate that, but it's great to like do that. So anyways, that got me into running, and then seeing my time go down and like my ability to run a 5K. It's like for me to run a 5K now is as easy as it was to run like just 1 kilometer.
Yeah.
Back when I first started. So I was like, that's amazing. Like I do a 5K in 25 minutes now. And
That's
and
nice.
like I could do a 10K now, like, and by the end of it, I'm not like gassed. I'm tired, but I'm not like, holy fuck, like I'm dying for air. It's like, like I'm cool. Like, so
Yeah.
to me, that is very inspiring. And when you start running a bunch and like, and I run in a really great area around this like lake in Hollywood, surprisingly, there's like a reservoir that I run around right under the Hollywood sign. So that's pretty cool.
So LA.
Yeah, it is extremely LA. I'll give you that.
I hiked to the sign and that was quite a hike.
It
one
is.
time.
Oh, Henry
It is.
called me after. He was like, bro, I'm dead.
Losing it.
I mean, but that's the thing. And then you just run around and you kind of get lost in it at a certain point when you kind of figure out your pace and
There's
you
that
get,
flow you can achieve.
dude, I'm telling you,
The
like,
flow.
yeah, it's like a thing. You just get locked in. And like, I just remember like, it's like kilometer 7, kilometer 8, kilometer 9. I'm like, holy shit, I'm about to run a 10K. Like, and I don't mind. Like,
Yeah.
it's fine. So that is the stuff that encourages me. And like having a goal, like what you said with running a half marathon, which is, 22 kilometers, 13 miles, is, like, cause right now I'm doing about 7, right? So like for me to get to 13 is a big jump, but
Yeah, double that.
yeah, exactly. But like to me, to have the goal of being like, okay, I'm gonna work towards this, and I'm just
Yeah.
gonna do it for me. And I don't care how long it takes me. I'm just gonna fucking do it.
Yes.
That's a great thing, and it keeps me like motivated to keep doing it. Versus like I'm just gonna run 10Ks every day. It's like, okay, that's boring. So to me, to be like, let's work up and like let's try to do a half marathon, and then eventually let's do a whole marathon, and then whatever. So
Yeah.
that's why I did it. It's more of like a motivating thing. But I'm
that's
very much
cool.
looking forward to it.
Yeah, good luck for sure.
Thank you.
So your first fascination with music.
Yes.
What can you kind of point to as far as like, not necessarily an artist even, because I feel like you have a unique,
Yes.
like first,
Yes, it's
Yeah.
true, and it's going to make a lot of people upset. But I did not really listen to music before I started producing.
Yeah.
What?
No, I didn't. Like my family, like my parents, were not big, music people. Like, like they didn't collect vinyl, like, they didn't put on tapes and like, yo, listen, come here, Bijan, like have a sit, like, listen to this. Like, that wasn't their swag. And, not to say it's a bad thing. Like, that's fine. That's who they were. Mm-hmm. But that wasn't them. So for me, when I discovered music, it was originally a method of confidence boosting, maybe I would say. It was a thing where I came out of elementary school and I was going into high school and I was like, I don't want to be like that nerdy kid that plays Yu-Gi-Oh at lunch anymore, like, which I was. And I played football, like you said, competitively. And when you come from a small private school, elementary school, as I did, graduated with 30 people, which is quite funny, you don't really meet a variety of people, especially coming from a suburb in Mississauga where, you kind of meet a lot of the same people that look like me. And, playing competitive football, you meet people from various backgrounds and from various, places and like various upbringings where I learned a lot of things from and kind of really widened my view on like living, like, like who people are. Culture, exactly. And part of that was music and specifically rap music. And I remember getting put on to like 50 Cent, Lil Wayne, like back in 2008 where Lil Wayne just put out Carter 3 and was doing his thing. And I was like, yo, this is incredible. And like, this makes me feel amazing. Like I feel so cool listening to this.
Yeah.
So it was a mix of that. And it was a mix of when I heard the production, I have a very like kind of math/logic kind of wired brain. Mm-hmm. I've always been good at math. I was going to be an accountant until I was a producer. And so when I heard the beats, I was like, to me, I heard the drum patterns and I like thought of the drum patterns as if it was like an equation where like all the pieces fit with each other perfectly and like created like a perfect 100. Like it was like, this is all working together to create like a great rhythm. And I kind of was like, I love how these, like this is hitting here and like the snare goes here and, all these fit together, like I said, to make like a very cool rhythm. And that really interested me. And I Googled beat making software and I downloaded FL Studio. And I literally...
Did you get the crack?
I absolutely got the crack. I did not say that on Splice. I said I purchased it. That's a complete farce.
One more time exclusive.
Yes, it is an exclusive. I torrented FL
no corporate
Studio.
shit here.
I know how this shit works.
This ain't no corporate
I mean, I was 11 years old.
You don't buy it off rip.
But hey, don't flex, right? Lil Wayne was not your fascination with music. You were a movie soundtrack guy.
Yes, I was.
Don't try and act all cool.
That is different.
You
No.
were listening
We're not in high school
to James
Yes.
Bond soundtracks.
Yes.
Like
I
they
love
were
that.
the fucking
Yes. The GOAT. They
the
are.
bee's
I still
knees.
listen to them. I still listen to movie soundtracks. They're like if you
some
go
of the best music.
No, but was that before the Wayne like era? Like,
Same time.
Okay,
Same
so it was
time.
around. Okay,
It was around the same time because that's when I had first.
It was
got,
way
like,
cooler to me to hear that like you were
yeah.
a movie soundtrack buff.
But I still
because
hold on.
everyone likes Wayne.
Let me show you.
But like,
I mean, Wayne's the GOAT.
but like the movie soundtrack side, I was like, that's cool.
Look at my Apple
Not
Music.
many people can point to like
My Apple Music, my recently saved
Suave.
Yeah, right.
Of course. Shout out Suave.
Boba Fett music and the Batman music.
Wow.
Like dead ass like saved to my thing.
This is the
Real
shit
deal.
that people need to know.
yeah. Like
Yeah.
but that was at
The
the same
Weezy
time.
thing's cool, but I'm
yeah,
just
of
saying.
course. Yeah, no, not that's funny. Of course, I'm sure Molly told you that.
Yeah.
No, but that is that's what it was. And I love movies. Like I still love movies and I love movie music because I
Yeah.
think it's so fucking cool.
The Hans Zimmer guy.
I love Hans Zimmer.
I like to write an E.
Yeah, I love it. He's like, and it has such a lovely resolve. It's like asking a question. Here's the answer, D. And it's like like talking about Inception or whatever he's talking about.
So what do you love so much about movie soundtracks?
I think there's the element of having it tied with the memory of watching the movie and like what the movie makes you feel and like what it means to you. Star Wars is such beautiful music, no matter what. Mandalorian, the OT, the prequels, the sequels, like they all have fantastic music.
John Williams.
Yes, of course, legend, and Ludwig Göransson for the TV shows. And I think
He knows his shit.
I do. I'm very well versed in
I didn't know the
movie and
TV show guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you haven't watched them?
No, I mean, it's interesting that you said because movie soundtracks, it's a lot easier to know, I guess, how you were feeling because there's the script happening before you. But music, I feel like is the same thing.
Yeah.
A good song, you'll remember exactly what the fuck was going on in your life. And that's
Exactly.
why I fell in love with music for the first time.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God, like every time I hear the song now, it puts me in that place.
Right in that place. And that's how I feel about movies.
Yeah, and the movie soundtrack, it's a little more pointed because it's like
this is where shit.
Exactly. It's like, no shit, that's the scene that was happening.
Yeah.
But in life, it's like the same shit. I never really thought about that. But
yeah. No, that's what it is. Like when I hear a fantastic movie soundtrack, it takes me back to like, that's the first time I watched Star Wars, or like, that's that scene in Star Wars that I thought was so fucking cool. Or like, this is that James Bond movie. I love James Bond. Like that's the James Bond movie. I can tell you exactly where it came from. Like that exact scene. And like, I love that movie and I love that scene. So like that in conjunction, like, cause I didn't have an iPod or anything. Like, so I wasn't listening to music like that. But when I got my first, like when I got my cell phone, like my first phone ever, like it, you know, I could play music on it. So I like, that was it. It was like Lil Wayne and 50 Cent and like other like rap shit like that when I was first discovering rap and movie soundtracks.
Yeah.
And it just, all of it just made me feel super fucking awesome. And that's when I got FL cracked, of course. So we're not going to tell Image Line.
You have since purchased.
I've since purchased it twice. And then I literally just, you know, figured out music. Like I didn't watch a tutorial. I just clicked buttons until I figured out what the fuck I was doing.
It's super fascinating to me, the type of people, because you have like left brain people and right brain people, and they kind of hear and understand music like very differently. And hearing how
he sings whichever is the mathematical.
Yeah, which is,
he
I think
sings like that.
Yeah,
left.
I think
even though you're clearly such a creative person now, being in music.
Yeah,
and I've always felt right in the middle because my dad is very logical, technical, numbers, stock market.
Too, yeah.
My mom was very abstract, painting, you know, that kind of stuff. So I kind of struggle going back and forth. But it's cool seeing people that are very far on one side of the spectrum, and kind of understanding the difference between the two.
Yeah, no, it's true, and it's just that it speaks to like how music or art in general can be created by anybody.
So the first time, meeting Metro Boomin was at the Beatmakers Battle of the Beatmakers.
Yeah.
Was that like as big a thing as it sounded to me when I heard this story? Like, was it a big deal in the city?
Yeah. You watch them, right, Greer? Yeah. So it's a thing where people will watch them.
Oh, like not even just Toronto.
Yeah. No, it's a very worldwide thing.
Okay.
Well, geez, I don't know if people watch it worldwide, but people come from all over the world. No, it's not just a Toronto thing.
Yeah, I mean, I figured because Metro Boomin was a judge at that point.
Yeah. They have everybody. They had hella amazing judges. Like Metro's one of, many that have juded. Boy Wonder had won, like he won the very first competition. Wonder Girl won as well.
Who also went to your high school?
Yes, who I met in grade 9.
That's wild.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Did you guys like immediately build a connection?
Yes, because we were the only two people who were making beats.
Really?
Yeah.
So it actually was over beats.
It was. Yeah. Oh, big time.
That's cool.
Yeah. It was.
Has that relationship like flourished?
I just saw her on Saturday.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm a Wonder Girl stan.
Wonder Girl?
Sure.
She's incredible.
We'd love to have you on the podcast. Come on down. The water's warm.
Yeah. No. She is amazing. I don't have enough good things to say about her. There it is.
You're waiting for it.
Have you judged? Have you judged a battle?
Well, yeah, I've done I haven't been like one of the main judges, like a T- or like, Metro, but I've been a preliminary judge where like I think narrowed it down from like 128 finalists to 64.
Cool.
And then after that, it goes from 64 to 32, and then they do the main thing. So I was one of the preliminary judges they asked me to do, and I have a great relationship with the people that run that because of I guess I'm an alum and I've been somewhat successful. So
but you did horribly in the competition.
Out in the first round.
Yes, yeah. It's funny. Yeah, we were just talking about this.
You did not do good.
No, I faced Jordan Manswell, who's a fantastic producer. And okay, well, first of all, let me preface this. He won the whole thing. All right.
Okay.
So it's not like I didn't get out by
you had a shitty draw.
Yes, I had a shitty draw. It wasn't some Joe Schmo.
I hated that in tennis tournaments, man. I would always get fucking
like,
you got
the incredible peelers.
Just put up against the John Isners and Roger Federers of the world.
You should draw. That's fine. You know what? It strengthens you as a person.
To you.
Yeah, I went against the guy that won the whole thing, Jordan. Shout out Jordan.
Yeah.
Shout out.
Thank you. Yeah, there you go. And, he's a fantastic producer, and we had a good little bout. Like, he won the first round, I believe, and then I won the second round.
So, like, what's the format? Is
okay, let me explain.
Because I've never seen it.
Yeah, it's a funny thing.
I've seen clips of it.
Yeah. Okay, cool. It's funny. It's a bunch of people on a stage.
Yeah.
And all the producers on the stage, and there's 2 DJs on either side. And the producers are just like assigned a DJ, and you go and it's basically a best 2 out of 3 format.
Okay.
Where the judges will be like, one person will play a beat, the next person will play a beat. Judge decides.
Yeah.
Again and again until.
So it's like a mini versus.
The producer kind of like stands there and is like
does like a little dance.
This is my shit playing right now. It's kind of funny.
Is there footage of of you
There
doing this.
I definitely was not doing that, but like you'll see,
God.
like Jordan Mansell.
Henry, you're not allowed on as your
Some
management.
version of that. You know what I'm talking about?
No, of course. But Jordan Mansell was on there dancing on stage, like he was jumping around. Like
That's why he won.
Yeah, exactly.
Energy.
It's true.
Yeah, moves.
But you got to sell the crowd, and like there's a crowd of people, and they'll like cheer. It
wow.
on. Oh yeah, it's like there's like a full crowd, and
Okay.
like they'd be going crazy. And then so yeah. Anyway, so I faced Jordan, and he edged out the victory, bastard. And
darn him.
And but you know, and that's fine. Like I was out, but you know, I met so many people that night. It was incredible. It was like
That's the key.
That's the key. The networking. It was like here at the Revenge of the Dreamers camp, or like at Tree Sound, where I didn't work on any of the songs, but the amount of people that I met was like like Akon, for God's sake. Like
yeah, but so how do you approach networking, right? So you're at this place.
Yeah.
Most people have no fucking clue what to do. If they were to get put in a room full of 100 people that they should be meeting and networking with, this is such a like mythical term of networking, right?
Yeah.
Literally, how do you approach it? What is your style?
So, with me, I try to find people that kind of look like they're also a bit lost. Like, you know what I'm saying? Where it's like we're lost together. Which is a good place to start though, because then you've struck a conversation, and then like you have someone to kind of join conversations with, or people join your conversation, which is a great place to start.
Yeah.
But also, you know, just literally going up to people and be like, hey, what's up? Like, this is what you know, what do you do? Why are you here? Like, if you see someone, you know, like, hey, by the way, I'm a fan of yours. Like, you know, this is a funny story, but like I was in the kitchen at Tree Sound, and it was like madness around. It was like, must've been 300 people in that studio.
Yeah.
And I was just kind of taking a second and taking a breather, and Akon literally walks into the room. And he comes and he stands right beside me, and he looks at me and he says, man, this is so crazy, isn't it? And I was like, we were laughing about this. I was like, yes, Akon. Like, it is crazy, isn't it?
How did you find the words to even like
I was like,
reply?
I don't know. I was like, yeah, I guess it is.
Now
and
it fucking is.
Yeah. And he's like, well, anyways, and just like takes off.
Yeah, no, you're like, wait, I mean, what are you talking about? I'm talking about the fact that you just talked to me. I don't know what you're thinking is crazy.
Yeah. So like, I mean, and you know, that's a funny thing, because that's networking. Like I could have just walked up to anybody and be like, this is pretty crazy, isn't it? And they would have been like, you know what? Yeah, it is. And then we could have struck up a conversation. So, but you know, in terms of networking and stuff, like at the Battle of the Beatmakers in Toronto, I was just like, hey man, like Jordan, great beats, man. I'd love to get your contact. Like, you know, I'd love to learn or like work with you or some shit. Because there's already some kind of introduction. It's way easier if there's an introduction. But if not,
hey, like, you just smoked me, bro. Can you at least give me your number?
Can you give me a tip, please, for the love of God? But that was like also with Metro, because he had heard my beats. I'm like, Metro, I'm a big fan. Like, I'd love to like whatever. I didn't get actually his contact that day, but I was just like, hey man, I'm a big fan. Like, I love what you're doing. He just did like stuff for Travis on Days Before Rodeo. And all that kind of stuff. Classic and incredible. Skyfall is like one of my favorite Travis songs of all time.
You have good taste.
Thank you. But yeah, so stuff like that. If there's a common interest, there's a way to kind of make a conversation. Be like, hey, I'm a fan. Or if you just want to talk to someone, be like, hey, like, you know, why are you here? Like, what's up? Like, tell me a little bit about yourself. I think people think it's a lot more scary than what it is. But most
people are humans, man.
I know. But
no, I'm saying like people forget that the other people that you idolize
are just humans.
Like I've met some, you know, people that most people would think is like a scary encounter. And I'm like, I mean, it's not that I'm like unimpressed, but it is just like, you're just like Henry, you're just like Bijan.
Bag of bones.
Yeah. You're a normal fucking person.
I've been very grateful and had the ability to hang out with a very, very, very popular music artist, and who I will not name, but is from Toronto and is not Drake. And he was extremely, extremely down to earth and like the most regular, normal person of all time. And when you realize that, where you're like, dude, you just had Jim Carrey narrate your album and like one of the biggest artists of all time. And for us to just be talking so casually, and for you to like acknowledge me like I'm not beneath you, which is such a low standard, but still is like it's amazing. It makes you feel like, oh, I could just talk to anybody. Like, who cares?
It's true.
It's amazing like that.
Are you a fan of networking laterally?
Yes.
Where you like who have been some of the people that you maybe, you know, I mean, shit, maybe Wonder Girl at the time, right? Like she's always been a fucking prodigal daughter. Like she was already kind of out of here when you even met her.
Are you kidding? Of course. She's
so like, who would be some of the peers of yours that you've maybe, you know, built with or kind of, you know, risen with?
There's a fantastic A&R from out here named Baby Shad.
Okay.
Who recently started working at Sony. Shout out to him. And, you know, we've known each other for years and we've come up together.
Yeah, we should get him on.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it sounds like
I'll let him know.
Yeah.
He's a great person to talk to. He has a lot of experience. He's just, he's put in the work, you know, he's put in the hours. He took what's hours. Black and Samoan in my veins, my body's banging was, sorry, I'm just doing the rock now from that TikTok song.
Oh, God. I'm not a fan of that song, by the way.
Have you not heard this? The Tech Nine song?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So
it's about power.
Yeah. I break out into that every time there's like a word that like triggers it. Where it's like, this is from the verse. I'll just start rapping the whole thing.
He did his job then.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
He did.
If you're doing
that verse goes crazy.
You mean that Terramana ad?
But yeah, no, he's a fantastic A&R. And in terms of him, and then like even the A&R that I worked with who signed me to Ultra, Andreas Rizek, and my manager, even Malcolm, like it's not like I signed to like power players when I got Ric Flair Drip or like, even before that, these are people that I was Andreas's first signing. And my manager, Malcolm, it's not like he worked for some giant management company. Like we've done this, just the two of us really. Yeah. So we've all grown together, and then Chad is someone we met, and he's grown at the same time. And like a guy like Mike Hector, for example, like him and I have known each other for a long time, and we both have had great comeuppances. That's not the right word.
Come-ups?
Yeah, great come-ups. Yeah. Comeuppance is like when you get your just dues. But we've had great come-ups where he's done a lot of very cool things, and I respect him so much, and I think he's a fantastic producer, and stuff like that. So I guess
it's just a lot of people have talked about that concept.
Yeah.
Of like looking to your left and right versus always looking up and chasing.
It's the best thing to do.
And I mean, shit. Even Benny the Butcher, I was telling you about the interview I was listening to.
Yeah.
He was like, I hate it when like rappers try and like chase me when they should really be talking to the guys that are behind me.
Yeah.
That are like my homies that are on, it kind of sounded cocky, but at the same time, it was actually good advice for him of like, look, like I got my shit covered. Like he even was saying, I'm working with anybody that I want to. Like I'm calling Hove, like getting advice. Like I'm working with Hit Boy. I'm working with Hitmaker, like whatever. Like, you should be building with the artists that are, at your kind of level. You know what I mean? And so it's an interesting concept that everyone wants to chase, like what's maybe like definitely out of reach.
They want shortcuts. Yeah. They want to escape the work.
Even a guy like, Suave, who I met coincidentally, but like him and I, it's like it's a situation where it's like, we're on a similar level where we both had some success, and we're both like trying to like be like, okay, we're actually someone, like we're not just like the guy that did that or the guy that did this. Like we're both trying to make a name for ourselves still, even though we both had some success. So we're on relatively the same level. So I think there's a added sense of understanding between each other there.
How'd y'all meet?
We met in October of 2020 at when Jid was kind of working on his album. This was during the height of COVID, and I was like locked down. It was hell, and I was like, before everything, or before vaccines rather. So I was like more like worried about going out and like all this kind of stuff. So, but he messaged me and he was like, dude, like I'm working on my album. Like, come if you want, you can come to Atlanta and work on it. And I was like, dude, I have to go to that. Like I have to do that. So
did you wear like 4 masks?
Oh, I didn't. Yeah, like I definitely did not take off my mask the whole time.
Just didn't breathe.
No,
I took the Lysol wipe that time.
I did. That time I took the wipe. I'll tell you. And I had like 7 bottles of like disinfectant on me. I was like, Christ, I don't know what I'm doing. Like. But it was actually a funny thing because I had just discovered his music like a mere maybe month before that. And I met him at these sessions that Jid was having for his album. And it was funny because we were always there kind of at the same time. And I could tell, I was like, whatever, we kind of got along at the beginning. And so usually I can tell when I'm going to get along with someone like pretty quickly when I first meet them. And he was like, I had that kind of feeling with him. And, he was there early and he was doing the same thing. And he's like, yeah, bro, I'm Suave. And I was like, oh, for real? Like, I just found that song of yours. Yeah. And that song is
such a good one.
Yes. I'm like, bro, that's like my favorite Suave song. And I was like, that's out at least. And he was like,
yeah.
And he was like,
ooh, we need that unreleased Suave, bro.
I've said too much.
We need that shit.
But and I was like, dude, I love that song. And he was like, and I was playing him beats, like, dude, you're like super fire. Like you're super hard. And I was like, appreciate it. So we kind of just built a relationship from there. And I went to his house on like the last day that I was in Atlanta. And
now you're staying at his house while he's not even there.
And now I'm staying at his house and he's not even here.
That's
how quickly
things move quick in the music industry. But
do.
That's a situation where it's like you meet someone that's kind of on the same plane as you and you kind of work with them, because I genuinely think he's a fantastic artist and rapper, and there's nothing more that I love than like someone like that. So I think
no doubt about that.
You know, I think he's
great.
He's great. I think he's able to make a very, very classic album, and I think he will in his time. And I'm very lucky to have met him now, versus like chasing like oh my god, I only want to get a cut with Drake and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And like even Greer, who's sitting over there, like, you know, I met him through Suave, and Greer's extremely talented too. And like it's like stuff like that where it's like, you know, he's super talented, so I know he's going to be around people that are super talented. So I'm grateful to know him, because that's how you build that network of like, you know, Greer's not in the same position as Suave, but one day, you know, he may be, if he keeps working hard as he is, and if he keeps doing what he's doing. So
should we have Greer on the podcast?
I think so.
Do we just book another episode? Yeah, we're going back to back today.
Yeah, for sure. But no, it's like that. So it's like that has lateral networking is amazing in that regard too, because then you meet like the homies of that person who's like also talented.
That's how we've done podcast guests.
There you go.
Yeah, that's why you're here right
first,
now.
Yeah, exactly.
It did start off at first, of course, of me and Henry trying to be like, all right, cool. Who are the first like 5 guests we want to get on, right?
Yeah.
But from there, it's just been like, hey, you know, guest, who do you think we should have on? And it's like, you know, you would maybe point us in 3 different directions, 5 different directions, whatever.
For sure.
And it's just, it's easy that way because it's people that we know. If we trusted you enough to come on to the show, you know, yourself, then you obviously have a good idea of like who would have a great story to tell.
Exactly.
Who are your peers kind of, you know, at the same level, right? Because of course, do we want to book a Drake interview? Sure. Why not? Right. But we do actually want to have people on that maybe don't have that like huge interview already. They're not on the cover of fucking, you know, Rolling Stone. They're not on double XL cover. Or whatever,
We'd love to be one of those interviews that someone blows and then goes back and then watches, you know, the One More Time podcast. Like, oh, that's where they were at back then.
Yeah,
for sure.
Definitely. And I think you will have that with people.
Yeah. And so from, you know, meeting Metro that night, obviously fast forward to, you know, Ric Flair Drip.
Yes.
You know, what was kind of the timeline between those?
Well, I met him November 2014, and Ric Flair Drip came out October 2017. So it was 3 years. I didn't get his contact the night of the battle. So I think I got it about a year later. So it might have been, I want to say around the same time, like kind of fall/winter 2018. And I kind of just built a rapport with him, like on a personal level. It wasn't really like a business thing.
And that's a key to me right there, is to not jump right into the
very
asking
important.
and
because then people just think that you just want to use them.
Exactly.
And that, and that's not even, it's not even to say that like I do want them to think you know, I'm just being friendly, but I really do want to use them. No, it's like that's not true. Like I want to be I want to make personal connections with people, especially in the music industry. It's a very lonely place. And, you know, like a lot of people are really just out in it to get ahead. So I think having friends is very, very important. Mm-hmm. So I was trying to be that person, you know, knowing how busy he was. I just wanted to be like, hey man, like great job on that song. I thought that beat was incredible. Or like, blah, blah, blah. Great job on this. Great job on that. Or did you see this meme about you? Like I'd send him like stupid shit like that I saw on Twitter, which he liked. But yeah, it was like kind of like that, where it was more of a personal relationship. And also to emphasize how important it is even just to say hi to someone. Because when I reached out to him a year later, I was like, hey, like, I don't know if you remember me. I did the Battle of Beatmakers, like blah, blah, blah. He's like, yeah, I remember you. Like, I liked your beats. And I think part of the reason he remembered is because I was like, yo, bro, like I'm a big fan, like da-da-da. And he kind of remembered the name and the face. So when I reached out even a year later, he's like, yeah, dude, I totally remember. Like, here's my number. Here's my thing. Like, let's work. And it wasn't like totally random. And so we kind of did that. And I just remember one day, it was again, very random. It was one day in 2017 in July. I don't know if he asked me, I don't recall, but I was either he asked me or I just like, maybe I should send some stuff to Metro, like whatever, who knows. And I was in my parents' basement and I made 3 melodies that I thought were great. And I was like, these are fire. He'll love these. And then I was like, oh, it's getting kind of late. I got to go to school tomorrow. Let me do one more just in case. And I made a really simple one. And it was the Ric Flair Drip one. That was the one. And
simplicity every time.
Yeah, it's like the keys, the synth bass and the synth lead. And I was like, yeah, fuck it. Like, let me include this. Like, I don't even know why I included it, to be honest. Like, it was just like I guess the thing. I was like, if he has an idea, maybe. And so that was in about July. And then I remember about a week later, I was in a movie and he texted me, and he doesn't really he wasn't like the type to text me first unless there was something happening. So he texted me. I was like, oh shit, like what is this? And he just sent me like a screenshot of his, computer with like him having used that melody into a beat. So he was just like his way of saying like, I just made a beat with this. And I was like,
that's such a like cool Metro thing.
Yeah.
to do.
He was like, look.
Yeah.
And I was like, great. I was hyped. I was like very excited about that. But again, mind you, this was 2017 where he produced I think he sold something like 20 million singles in 2017.
Yeah.
I remember like some graph I saw. Like
that was like when he
had a crazy year.
Yeah.
Like he did like 4 collab projects, like Big Sean, Without Warning. He did a Gucci one. I think he did one more, the Nav one, I think. I think they all came out in 2017. In addition to I think What a Time to Be Alive came out that year too, if I'm not mistaken. So
2017.
Jumpman, he had an incredible year.
Yeah.
So for me, getting that text was awesome, but it was also like, dude, this guy's probably making 10 beats a day, going between 7,000 cities, like within the span of 24 hours.
Yeah, the beat getting made is only the first step.
So I was like, that's great. Like, I'll keep working. But I didn't expect anything. And so that was like in July, roughly. He comes to town in September. And I remember I had a crazy night because I went to school the whole day. He texted me again because he got in on Tuesday. I remember he got in on Tuesday and I was like, yo, bro, like let's link if you're here. And then I heard back on Wednesday, he was in town for the Bryson Tiller tour. He was opening as a DJ artist. And he just texted me, yo, like that was the whole thing. And I was like,
Metro's texts are awesome.
Yo. And I was like, what could this mean? And so I was in school and I was like,
good yo, a bad yo.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know. And then on his socials, it was like blasted, I'm sure from his like PR people. It was like, after party at Soho House tonight, like Metro Boomin, like DJing and blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, oh God, I like put it together in my head. I'm like, he must be inviting me to this after party. Like that's the conclusion I came to. So I left school. I trained home. I was training home. It took me about an hour and a half. I got home from school. I did a job interview for my accounting job that I was planning on getting. So I undressed, put on a suit, like the top half at least, because it was like a video thing. I did a math test and
sounds like how I go to work.
Yeah, seriously, like damn near me every day now. Yeah. Minus the suit, I'm just naked all the time.
Thank God.
I had to do a math test, an economics test, and a logic test as part of this job interview. And then they had pre-recorded video questions that I had to answer. So I did like a whole ass job interview. And then it was like 9 p.m. And I just remember being like, okay, like there was no time on this after party thing. I was like, I don't know when I should go to this thing. Like, I don't know if it's even what he's asking me to do, but I have to go. Like, I have to go to this thing and like, take the chance or whatever. I'll just train home if not.
So still throughout the whole day, all he had said was yo.
It was just yo.
Did you reply to the yo?
So I was like, what's up, bro? Like,
and nothing.
That's it. Like,
okay.
I was like, what's up? And then I think I might have been like, oh, like, are you like, can I roll through to this after party thing?
Yeah.
And no response. So I'm sure he was like performing or whatever. He's on stage. So I just remember like, damn, should I go to this like thing? Like, should I just pull up and like hope for the best? And I was like, yeah, like fuck it, let's go. So then I got dressed again. I trained back downtown again. And I walked to Soho House and I got there, I remember at 10.
All by yourself?
Yeah. Oh, for sure. And I remember I got there at like 10:20 p.m. And I went in and I was like, hey, like, is the Metro thing started? She's like, no, he's not here yet. I was like, okay, cool. So I go out and I sit on the street for an hour and a half. And he texted me at like close to midnight. It might have been like 11:45. He's like, yeah, pull up. And I was like, yes, I'm here. I've been here. Like, I'm already here.
Damn, that had to give you a boost of energy while you were probably falling asleep on the curb.
I was like literally sitting on the curb for like literally like an hour and a half. And
God, you probably look
those
so
are the lengths you have to go through as a producer, all right?
Seriously, this is great.
Yeah, so I was sitting there for an hour and a half just being like, yeah, like I'm this is it. And if he texts me, I'm here. So I'm like, I'm ready. So then he did, and I went, and we had a fucking phenomenal time. It was amazing. There's probably still a picture on my Instagram from that night. And then it was about 3 a.m, which is a real classic because I had to go to school the next day and I don't really stay up hella late. And he's like, what are you doing after this? And I was like, shit,
after
bro.
3.
Yeah. He's like, cause he just,
I'm available. I guess.
I'm like, I think I'm good. Like,
I totally don't have school in 4 hours, but
I'm like, you tell me, Metro Boomin, like, what are you doing? So he's like, yeah, let's go cook up. I was like, all right, cool. So we go to Drake's studio, which was fucking incredible.
OVO?
No, it's called Soda.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
it's state of the art studios. Which it's 40 studio, but Drake. Mm-hmm. So we go. It's like really cool. It's not that far from where we were at. It's also in the direction of my house. I was like, amazing. So it's an incredible studio. We go. We cook up until like 7 a.m. I'm like, I gotta go to school. And he's like, yeah, I gotta catch the flight to like the next city, bro. So like, thanks again for stopping by. Like, great to see you, like whatever. And I was like, damn, bro. And like, that was like so inspiring because I'm like, this guy's going from city to city. He is performing at this Bryson Tiller concert. From there, probably going to the hotel, chilling for like a minute, going to an after party set till 3, and then still making time from like 3 to 7 to cook up.
Crazy.
And then on to the next city. He's like, yeah, I got to go to the airport. I was like, damn. But I just remember like, I was like, that is inspiring. And I was like, I thought that, I was like, damn, I put in the hours tonight. But then when he said that, I was like, holy shit. Like
he's put in the hours every night.
Could you see yourself doing that?
Yes. 100%.
So you do want to be like that level of a brand.
For sure.
To be able to command.
Oh yeah.
Ticket sales as a DJ
as
artist. As an act.
That'd be cool. Amazing.
I've seen Metro as an act.
No, for sure.
He was he was at an EDM show. He had like a special guest. It was supposed to just be, he was the headliner, and then he brought out Future out of nowhere, of course.
Yeah, it's just not every producer actually has aspirations of doing that at all.
I don't,
you know what I mean?
I would like to do, I don't know if I would do like a world tour about doing DJs. I mean, maybe I would. I'll never say never. But like the fact that he was able to find time to produce maybe 4 or 5 collab albums that year, hella singles for people, do his DJ sets, and still make time to
make music.
Right. Still make time to make music and to see people. Like I had no placements, bro. Like you have to understand, like I literally had nothing. And this guy was like inviting me to his
actually nothing.
I had a Party Next Door song that came out like months before that literally no one promoted. So like it might have well has been nothing.
So it was on deaf ears pretty much.
It was on that 7 Days EP that came out kind of randomly. Not that I'm saying anything, like I love Party, but like it was kind of like it fell on deaf ears, and that's a fantastic EP, and there was great songs, and I loved the song that I did with Party, but it kind of fell on deaf ears. So like no, like there's no way Metro knew about that song.
Yeah.
But when I pulled up the show, and he was like all smiles, and he's like, "Yo, bro, so great to see you. Like, thanks so much for coming." Like, you know, he's such a cordial guy.
Have you ever asked him like, why the fuck did you take a chance on me at all?
I think it's because people took chances on him when he was young, and he's paying it forward.
See, people don't realize that. Like, you know, it's kind of contradictive to what I was saying earlier about like not chasing someone that is on, but like still at the end of the day, some people important. Like that will take a chance on you.
It's
right?
not to say that
you shouldn't like consume yourself with like only hitting up.
It's not mutually exclusive. Like you shouldn't only chase huge artists. There's an element to chasing big people. Yeah. And there's an element to working with the people around you, because eventually if you work with the people around you and you define a sound, the big people are going to come to you.
Yeah, because they're always wondering what's next. Because they want to stay relevant.
How do you think Drake has stayed relevant?
Because he wants to be associated with sound,
and then he does it better than the people that started it.
Take Keith had such a crazy run because Drake did Look Alive. Yeah. And then everyone's like, dude, that sound is incredible. And then Drake did like 4 songs with Take Keith. Yeah. And like that was a whole thing. You know, like, and that's like a producer that worked with an artist that was in his city, that they did a sound, and then Drake was like, you know, was like, that is a sound I want to do. And Take Keith, the producer, had a crazy moment as a result of it. Yeah. So that goes to say, like, yes, like definitely don't not reach out to big artists. Like for sure, reach out, shoot your shot. Like you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. But
Michael Scott,
Wayne Gretzky, Michael Scott. But also definitely make sure that you work with the people in your orbit, because you know it's very fulfilling also to work with people in your orbit instead of just sending fucking emails all day.
That's something we talk about, man. It's almost more beautiful if you can make something with someone who's on your level and see them flourish to new heights.
Yes.
You as the producer and the collaborator,
it has to be more fulfilling.
It almost feels, of course, just like your win as much as it is the artist.
For sure,
you know what I mean?
Like an artist I work with, Sean Leon, who I know that you're probably going to ask me about.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's that artist for me. Like he's that person where like I've known him for like 7 years, and like I've known him since he was in the fucking basement. He's
Canadian, right?
He is. Yeah. He's from Toronto. And
but who's the Italian artist you're working with?
Like purely Italian artist?
Yeah.
Oh, I've worked with like Madman, Itzy,
Gali.
Yes. Yeah, I've worked with him. He's awesome.
Okay, yeah, I didn't know if that was someone you were like
No.
regularly locked in with. Or
the Italian artists are great. They're very cordial. It's incredible. Like you go to Italy, like it's obviously a very different culture, but also like the artists are so funny because like you'll be in the session, they'll come in like, "Hey, do you want coffee or something? Like, can I get you a croissant?" Or like,
you're the man.
I'm like, yeah. Like this guy is like,
you're in Atlanta. It's like, want a blunt?
Yeah. This guy, like these guys are like the Michael Jackson of Italy, and it's like he's coming. He's like, "What can I do for you? Like, how can I serve you?
Yeah.
Like, how can I make this session incredible for you?" And I was like, "That's amazing."
But yeah, Sean Leon, you guys were tapped in for almost 7 years now.
Yeah, and dude, I've seen, like I said, I've seen that guy come out of the literal basement, and like
you too.
Yeah.
I mean, you were in your parents' basement.
Yeah, I was. But I mean, dude, like, there's a fucking different. Like, I was in my parents' basement. He was in the basement. Like, this guy, he came from literally nothing.
Okay,
like,
yeah.
It was like
the circumstances were different.
Extremely different. Yeah. He came from like a very different background. Like. And he has had quite a come up, and it's been amazing. Like, we're still working. Like, I am fucking.
Is he still in Toronto? Or?
No, he's in LA now.
He's in LA too?
Yeah. So
you guys
he's
regularly?
All over. Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm doing like probably 6 or 7 of his. I might be doing the whole goddamn project. I don't even know. Like, but. You know, we've done so many songs and we've stayed in contact for so long, and now he's working with Ye, and like he's gotten crazy deals and he's like doing all this stuff, and now he's up. So now it's like, dude, that's like my win as well, because we worked when it was like, I worked on that out of love. Like, I wasn't getting paid for that.
Yeah.
I wasn't getting anything. Like, he wasn't streaming well enough to like make me any money.
See, that's big gem.
Right.
Like, so many young producers, I feel entitled. And I'm not saying don't get your money straight if you can, right? Like,
because there's the whole no free beats movement, which is the opposite side of that coin.
Yeah, I mean, and you know, I'd be interested to hear your take, but like for me, I mean,
to me, there's times for free beats.
Yeah, and I think that, you know, obviously we are working with artists, and you know, Henry's not getting huge advances or anything from these artists, but you know what I mean. But it, you know, for those specific ones that you kind of. You do have to hand select them, right?
Yeah.
You can't do that for everyone, or else you'd be fucking broke with no way to live.
Yeah, you have to pick and choose. But Sean is one of those artists where I would pick him any day. Where it's like, I knew that
just because you believed in him so much,
for sure. And like the music I was making with him, and like the way that he was able to command producers and put together songs and albums, and it was just like greater than anything I was ever working on. And to this day, like the project that we have together called Can't Come With Me This Time, where like I was narrating like not half the songs, but like I had a big narration piece on the last song, and like he used vocal clips on it on most of the songs. And I did 7 out of the 11 songs on the project. Is like literally to this day one of the proudest pieces of work I have out. Like more so than like maybe 95% of like major songs I have out. Damn. And I've never seen a cent off that album. And just because the memory of working on it and being a part of it, and the people that were a part of it, and working with him and his process, and like the actual music was collaborative and it was inspiring. And it's like, I've openly said, like, I don't think I think I will, but there was a time where I didn't think that I would be able to like top that, where I'd be like, I think I'll just be I'll define myself by this album the rest of my career. But he's one of those artists where it's like, just working with him, it's like bread and butter. It's like it's a
lot different from emailing a beat pack out and crossing your fingers.
Yeah, which is also why it's important to move to LA, which is another thing where it's because so many artists are there, and to have FaceTime with these artists and to work with them in person is a whole different thing than sending emails. There's a whole level of like, now you know them. Now it's like a personal relationship as well. Now it's not just over the internet, where the internet works. Don't get me wrong, like it works. I'm not knocking it, but
yeah, you've definitely seen success networking on the internet.
Yeah, big time. But to work in person and to meet people in person, it like I've seen it firsthand. It like adds so much to the dynamic. Yeah, for sure.
Henry, where are we at?
I'm scared. What is this? I came in blind on purpose. I wanted to be shocked and surprised.
And you ruined the roast for that, but that's okay. But we do want you to be in the dark for this part. This is the rapid fire rampage.
Oh Christ! I do remember a bit of this from Suave's episode, so let's do it.
It's a 3-part rampage.
All right, go.
I'm gonna start with some. Okay,
I'm ready.
He was quick in the intro, and now he's quick.
Father, can you hear me? All right, let's go.
Because there are no correct answers, but it is supposed to be rapid. So
okay,
I'm gonna start with the short answer questions.
Go ahead.
Episode 42 with Bijan Amir. For modern day producers, how important are loops?
It's important in the sense of collaborating with people, because your chances of getting a placement are doubled, because you not only have your network, but you also have their network. And it's a great way to meet people. So I think it's very important. It's not necessary, but it's a good thing to do for sure.
And do you make loops?
I do.
And do you send the same loops to multiple people?
100%.
Yeah.
Unless there's fucking paperwork, no one has an exclusive on loops.
Cool.
I don't give a fuck.
Give us one tip for producers pursuing their dream artists? We kind of hit a few, but give us a different one that we haven't covered.
For their dream artists?
That want to work with their dream artists.
Work with the people that work with your dream artist. Try to get in contact with their producers or their fucking barbers or whoever works with them. Try to reach out to them.
Love that. Give us one efficiency hack for producers.
Hotkeys. 100% hotkeys on any DAW.
Nailed it. If you were in the music industry, not as a producer, what would you be doing?
Managing or A&Ring. Probably managing.
Describe your sound to a deaf person.
I don't know ASL, but no, imagine I did a really terrible ASL thing. That'd be so fucking bad.
It would go viral though.
That would be, yeah, it would. All right, we're going viral, boys.
Bijan Amir does terrible ASL.
Fake ASL, Christ. That is so ableist. To a deaf person? Geez, I don't know. Oh, geez, Rick.
Some adjectives here.
Oh, God.
What is your sound?
To a deaf person? Yeah. They can't even hear me. How the fuck am I supposed to describe it?
You're going to write the description.
I'm writing the description.
I thought the same thing. I was like, wait, how are we telling the deaf person what he sounds like?
I try to be, okay, let's say, simple in the areas that need to be simple, but experimental in the areas that have room for that kind of thing. That's what I would say.
Okay.
That's good.
That's cool.
When leaving town, how long do you wait to pack?
I'll do it the day of. I don't give a fuck. I'll do it the day of, shawty. Yeah, because I got to do my like laundry and shit, and I got to have like everything. So like I'll wait till the last moment till all my laundry's in, and then I'll do it.
That was a good way to justify.
Anyway. Oh, great.
You have to delete 3 states. What are they?
Oh, Alaska can go back to Canada. That's for damn sure. I don't know if it's back to Canada. I think it was Russia actually, but it can be a part of Canada. Makes sense geographically. I'd say Texas can go.
Big one, literally.
And oh God, I don't know. Geez, Rick. Every time I say geez, I'm going to say that. What's the third state to go? Florida. Get them the hell out of here. Yeah, get them. That should not have been as hard. Florida should be my number one. Get them out of here.
What are 3 things that we would find in your fridge right now?
Kale. I
was about to say, Oikos 000 Greek yogurt, no fat, no added sugars, and no artificial sweeteners. Shit. It's incredible. Great source of protein.
It is.
The vanilla flavored as well.
I'm going to go back and watch this later.
Good, please. What blueberries, Driscoll's. Driscoll's blueberries are incredible. And oh God, peanut butter probably. Natural peanut butter needs refrigeration, folks. Don't come at me. Thank you. Organic peanut butter.
I knew it was some LA shit.
Yeah, it couldn't just be like Jif.
No.
That shit's in
Jif
the
has
pantry,
like sugar and all these things in it. Peanut butter, I just need peanuts and salt. Beautiful.
Yo, if people are only used to Jif though, and they try real peanut butter,
yeah, they're like, what?
They're gonna be in for a fucking rude awakening.
Like, what the fuck is this?
I love it though, but it did like catch me off guard.
Oh yeah, now I've gotten used to it. It's very runny though, so people don't like that.
It's like it looks like it was
oil.
old or something because it's like super liquidy.
What is the best Pokemon?
I'm a big Darkrai fan. I love his design. Its design, rather. I don't think it has a gender. Its design.
Looks like a ghost.
It's 2022, man.
It's true. I don't. Yeah, it's a great ghost-looking thing. I think the powers are super cool. Like the nightmare situation that it's got going on, very groovy. I also love the Reggie Pokemon, like Regigigas, Regirock, Regice.
Okay.
And then they added 2 new ones, like the electric one and the dragon one. Don't really care for that. But
so still
OGs,
a nerd.
Still, yeah, I am. Of course, you could take the nerd out of or whatever the fucking. You could take me out of the nerd, never take the nerd out of me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think those are my favorite Pokemon designs.
You're good. He knows the lore and everything.
I know everything.
He's great.
Oh yeah.
If you had to wear one pair of shoes for the rest of your life.
Oh, give it a rest. Christ. Easy 750s. I love those. I love that silhouette. I don't know why. They're so cool.
How many Reese's peanut butter cups would fit on a baseball field? And we're talking single layer.
Are we talking the regular size Reese's cups?
Regular size cups, MLB diamond. Single layer.
Okay, hold on. Are we talking within the diamond or the outfield is included?
Outfield included.
Do you have an actual answer for this? Or is this a guess?
People have asked when we do these types of questions. We have no right answer for you.
Here we go.
Because this logical brain, this is great.
I'm going to say 1,200,000.
Okay. I have no idea how that sounds.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how weird do you think you are?
You could 10 for sure, but not in like a bad way.
No.
In the good weird. There's a lot of bad weird.
Yeah.
Not to judge people, but there's a lot of bad weird. I'm the good weird.
Part 1 of the Rampage.
It's like quirky. I'm so quirky and fun and just like off kilter.
He's doing great.
Top tier.
This is
first
impressive.
Part. There was only one that gave him like a stumble, and that stumble didn't even last long. So you are off to a hot start for sure.
Thank you.
You
Moving
might get a plaque.
Oh, Christ.
We're gonna do a Hall of Fame
plaque.
Oh boy, I'm looking forward to it.
No, well, you got to see how there's 2 more parts. So let's see how you perform here.
I took tests like every day.
Well, here, this test is the this or that. I'm going to give you 2, maybe 3 choices. First one off the top of your head.
Give it to me, Daddy.
Rampage.
This is amazing.
Starting with drums or starting with melodies?
Melody.
Snares or claps?
Clap or sometimes both together.
Hardware or software?
Software.
Guitar or piano?
Piano.
Zay 808 or spins?
Spins.
Good man. We're getting way too many producers saying Zay. I'm a spins man. Sync deals or online leases?
Sync deals. Give it a rest. Who you fucking kidding?
Nike or Adidas?
Adidas. I'm on their PR seating list. I have to say that. I love Adidas. I'm an icon. I'm a literal Adidas icon. Like I spend so much fucking money with them. It's actually bad.
I tried to get one of their NFTs and the bots stole them all. So
fuck you for bringing up NFTs around me.
But they don't have a running app.
They do. Adidas
so why
Runtastic.
Are you on the Nike?
Shit.
Conflict of interest.
Oh god, no, because the Adidas one is not free. The Nike one was, and I'd like to say I don't use the Nike one anymore. I just use my Apple Watch, Apple Fitness.
Oh,
I'm a big bitch for Apple.
Me too.
I'm a corporate piggy. Give them all my money. Give me the latest computer.
I need the newest
Next.
iPhone. Weights or cardio?
Fuck me. Weights. Right now in my current state, weights. It used to be cardio.
Dogs or
Dogs.
babies?
Yeah, dogs. don't even. Are you kidding me?
Do you have one?
I did. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
US dollar or Bitcoin?
US dollar right now. Bitcoin's taking a shit.
It is, but it's time to buy.
On sale.
Chinese food or Mexican food?
Oh, give it a rest. If we're talking, oh fuck.
It is Tuesday. It's Taco Tuesday.
Mexican. I'm going Mexican. That was a hard decision. Fuck. I'm a food guy, obviously.
Tattoos or piercings?
Ooh, tattoos.
LinkedIn or OnlyFans?
Selfishly, OnlyFans. Definitely OnlyFans.
Become 5 feet tall or 8 feet?
5 feet.
Sit in jail for 1 year or lose 1 year off your life?
Oh, sit in jail. You probably learn a lot in there.
That was my, see?
Learn a lot and you can work
Fuck
out every day.
jail.
It's amazing. Yeah, but to lose 1 year off your life.
Yeah.
Bro.
At least he's tripping, right?
Yeah, you're tripping,
Use
bro.
that year to benefit yourself
Yeah.
somehow. Like,
I don't care if I'm 89 dying versus 90. Come on.
should.
August 25th, 2022. Have you seen that girl on Twitter? Anyway, sorry, I don't want to interrupt you. August 1st, 2025. What's that date, Nardwar? Go ahead.
It's my dad's birthday, actually.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Shout out to your dad.
Shout out to your dad.
And he's a math guy, I told you. So it's 825. So it's 2 cubed and 5 squared.
Amazing. I love that. That just made me horny as fuck. I'm bricked up sitting here listening to that math talk, boy. You tell me that shit.
You and my dad will get along.
I hope so.
Couple more here. Couple more.
After he says he's horny, he said you and my dad
would really get along. You're horny?
Yeah, that was
Well,
bad
let me tell
timing.
you.
Separate point. Anyway, give up smartphones for life
Yeah.
or give up salt?
Give up salt. I don't care about salt.
Okay.
Your stupid fucking question.
You have a 95% chance of winning $100,000 or
Yes.
a 5% chance of winning 100 million.
95% chance on 100,000.
Take the win. Part 2 of the Rampage.
Part 2. Great.
Keeping up the pace.
The pace
Really?
is good.
Yeah.
This is...
My girl says I have stamina. I don't know what that means.
You're also very quick to
Sorry, Molly.
quick draw. Quick draw McGraw.
Last part of the Rampage. Here we go. It's the word
Keep it going.
association.
Let's do 4 parts of the Rampage.
this guy.
Just create a new part just
Yeah.
for Bijan.
Yeah.
Shooting one word at you. Just shoot me the first thing you think of back. Here we go.
Daddy. Sorry, go ahead. Sorry, I jumped the gun.
It's gonna be his answer to everything.
Headphones.
Bayer Dynamic.
Depression.
Don't have that shit.
Contract.
Lawyer.
Gold.
Dollar.
Sunrise.
Sunset.
FL Studio.
Work.
Corpse.
Death.
Morning.
Run.
Doctor.
Cancer. Fuck, that was dark.
A little bit. Album.
13 songs.
Specific. Lil.
Wayne.
Tomato.
Tomato.
Reverb.
Spring.
This should be interesting. NFT.
Don't care.
So against NFTs.
Just at the current moment.
Okay.
So you see the value in the future.
Fuck you. Continue.
Private.
Public.
Brain.
Control.
Frog.
Legs.
Family.
Chosen.
Gross beat.
I never use that shit.
Ric Flair.
I made him wait. Drip. God his
We're
ass.
docking you some points for that, so joke's on you.
Oh, that's all right.
No, in all seriousness, he might have just
One of the best rampages
was top
we have
notch.
had. I'm
What can I
not even
say?
joking.
What can I say?
add that to your resume because
And
that was
I
impressive.
had more on here than usual too, and it was still probably
It was the fastest.
You're one more time. We have to know.
Yeah. You're Bijan Amir. Of course we have to know.
We have to know.
We're here in Stone Mountain, Georgia.
I'm from Vancouver, Canada, and today I'm with One More Time Podcast in Stone Mountain, Georgia. Now, what does this album mean to you? I brought you boys a gift.
We don't have any gifts for you,
That's
but
fine, that's fine.
This has been amazing.
Thank you.
Really,
Legendary.
really appreciate it. Your
Legendary.
story is incredible.
Thank you.
You even admitted it. You're just getting going, though. I feel
sure-
like the fire is just starting to freaking blaze.
The fire rises.
Yeah, yeah,
Indeed.
and it's a beautiful journey that you've had so far. Can't wait to see where it goes.
Thank you.
Once again, appreciate you coming all the way from LA. We know you had other business to attend to, but the fact that you
We like to
squeezed us-
pretend it was just for us.
yeah, the fact that you squeezed us into your
I'm
your
happy
schedule
to.
here. We really do appreciate
Really
it. man.
appreciate it.
Appreciate you guys so much, and I'm genuinely happy to have come, and it was a great time. So thank you so
Awesome.
much.
Appreciate it, man. Henry, what are we doing?
Getting the fuck out.
Until next week. Peace.
Bye bye. Bam.
Awesome.
Yeah, there you go.
Yes.
This is definitely getting the blooper reel.
Pop that shit like one more time. They pop that one more time. Pop that shit like one more time. They pop that one more time. Oh. Hop up in that foreign skirt, no. All the homie, this shit tripping, no. Middle finger to the law.